Hello, hello. Welcome to Cancer season. This is between June 22nd and July 22nd. My name is Colleen and welcome to my channel Arcana Rising. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I am pulling for cards for everyone for during the season of Cancer. So anyone who's watching this applies to you. So I am shuffling the cards right now and waiting for the cards to present to me what we all need to know. I will say that while I was meditating for Cancer season, I saw a person meditating, and behind them was a giant moon, and it was swinging back and forth like a pendulum. So I'm feeling like it's really important for us to, I'm hearing like it's really important for us to create space within ourselves and, you know, train ourselves to easily find our center as things may be moving from one extreme to another. It may also be about, it could also be about second guessing your own intuition also, because maybe your intuitive, what you perceive to be your intuitive self is kind of going from, you know, swinging from one side to swinging to the other side of the same coin, you know what I mean, with different issues coming up. So that's also something to consider as well. So it's really important for you to really stay in alignment this season as different things arise. But I definitely feel like it's going to be a month of extremes. In one way or another, like probably internal extremes. How we like doing. I feel like it's like doing the shadow work almost this season, which isn't really something we really want to do when it's nice and summery and sunny out. At least for the northern hemisphere. For the southern hemisphere, you know, it might make total sense for you guys to be doing your shadow work right now as you're in the winter season. Okay, I need 3 more cards. Oh, thank you. 2 more. Oh, there we go. As I said, I need 2 more cards. 2 more cards popped right out. Okay, let me take a look and then I will show you the cards. Okay, so we have the 4 of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the 2 of Swords in reverse. So right off the bat, what I'm feeling like this is going to be a season where our boundaries may be challenged in a way, where we feel like we may need to put up some serious protection around ourselves, and also taking a look at like our trust, issues with trust, which I guess could also fall in place with boundaries. So we're taking a look at trust, and also this is what also is coming up here is like not wanting to move forward. So that just came back to me as I was like putting on my makeup and stuff. I'm like, okay, what messages do we need to know? And then I came here and meditated, and that other thing came up. But when I was doing that work, what came up was action. Yeah, so action came up, like having the courage to act or to move forward. So it's interesting that we have Four of Pentacles here. He's locked himself in a room, and he's protecting what he considers to be his worth, his value, like how he values himself, or the physical items that he has that represent his self-worth, basically. So this could be a time of, guarding, of protecting, of, hoarding your money. Like maybe, there's too much fear around money this month, where it's, where you're spending it or where it's going to be coming in, and then we have the Death card in reverse, which makes this a very significant month, and it definitely feels that way as tapping into this energy. It definitely feels like a really significant month, because it's talking about this fear of moving forward, or fear of, this inability of letting go of fears that are surrounding our physical world, that are surrounding what we may perceive to be important to us. Could be a job, something that we're clinging to that is no longer serving us. That's what's coming up. It took me a little bit to get there, but I got there. So it's about fear is really what it feels like. So it's really important to be doing the research, to be doing the work this month on weighing the pros and cons of your actions. Sometimes action, like, how I was saying action, so that was one of the messages that came up, and it feels like this is a fear of moving forward with something that's holding you back, something you're clinging to that's no longer working for you, something that we need to let go of. Sometimes action may not necessarily be like, all right, I'm going to quit my job this month. It could be, let's do some research on what would be better suited for me, or more in alignment with my needs. More like something that's more supportive for me, something that makes me feel safe. Seems to be important. So it's doing the research this month is a form of action. So it doesn't have to be like physically leaving things, or grand gestures. It could just be small steps of doing, looking for something else to replace, not necessarily to replace, something better that it's like we need to let go of something that we're clinging on to. And in order for us to do that right now, we need to find something that makes us feel safe, that we can put in place of that. Even if it's just, I'm hearing temporarily, something that we can temporarily put in place of this thing that we can't let go of. So it's an easier transition instead of just, ripping a Band-Aid off. So this is a shifting here. There is movement here. We do need to do some logical thinking, not just, emotional reactions this month. Maybe that's why the second guessing is coming up, or second guessing the intuitive self, or why that moon was on the pendulum swinging back and forth. Maybe the emotions are going from one extreme to another, so it's important to stay centered. in the logical brain, the logical side of things, rather than acting on emotions this season, which is really, it's a big part of Cancer season is, riding those waves of emotions. So it kind of feels like at least the first half of the season, we get more realistic, more logical with things. I also just pulled up the Three of Wands here in reverse with the King of Swords. And this feels like we're going back. Maybe it's something that we tried to start that really we need, something that we tried to move forward with, that or try to push forward with, that really needs to actually be let go, and not taken to the next level. I feel like old ways of doing things are no longer working for us, and we need to learn to, realize our worth and realize what, be honest and realistic with ourselves about what isn't working. Be our personal life coach. Imagine yourself talking to like a life coach and them like taking a look at your life and seeing like, okay, yeah, well, clearly this isn't working, so why are you still doing it? Like, done, we're getting rid of that, and we're starting over. So I feel like there's a backtracking kind of going on in the first half of the season. And then the second half of the season, that's when you can start listening to your heart again. So we need to be more grounded and realistic and logical. So I almost kind of feel like maybe this is a little bit of that Gemini energy kind of like blending in with Cancer season in the first half, where we're still in the, we're still in the thought realm. But now we're starting to feel, we can feel in our body what doesn't feel right anymore. So now we have to be logical about it. Like, okay, my body does not feel good when I do this anymore. So instead of avoiding it or trying to push forward, talking ourselves into continuing with this, how about we take action steps to finding something that is more suited for us to replace this thing that doesn't feel good anymore. So we got to go back a couple steps, back to the drawing board, almost, is what I'm feeling. And not necessarily drawing board where we're erasing, but maybe there's some things that can be tweaked so that we can shift our direction just a little bit. If that makes sense. That was a lot, but I hope that makes sense. In the second half of the season, now we can get into our Cancerian heart center, where we can really be in tune with, who we are and what our emotions are telling us, because maybe in the first half we're fighting it, and the second half we've come to terms with it, and now we've done something to support our health, and now our body is like, thank you, our soul is like, thank you, now we're back in the flow, now we can get back in it and start doing what we want, start doing what we're meant to do again. Let me just see about clarifying cards here. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of releasing. Oopsies. Okay. Thank you. So there's definitely a lot of forgiveness coming up. Maybe forgiving ourselves for lost time, maybe we thought this the direction that we were going in, or maybe we were going in a certain direction to, you know, to appease some, you know, imaginary person. Maybe somebody in our past had said something that stuck to us, and now we're trying to prove something to that person by, you know, stubbornly sticking through with something that we actually don't find any joy in. And we lost all this time going in this one direction, and now we're realizing that we need to start over in a way. Not completely start over, but make some major adjustments. And now, you know, coming to, you know, being honest with ourselves about that, and being, you know, forgiving and having compassion towards ourselves is something that is very important this month. Having compassion for ourselves, forgiving ourselves and others, for, you know, forgiving the people that planted those ugly little seeds in our head that we clung to, you know, that weren't really doing anything for us, you know what I mean? There was actually something like that in my life. You know, in college, it's a long story, but basically this one teacher told me, like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this one thing, and it, like, really shocked me and upset me. Like, maybe I shouldn't be pursuing this career, you know, and I was like, oh, shell him. And so I stuck through that career and pushed through 4 more years of it and got that degree. And I kept picturing myself going back to that teacher and just shoving that degree in his face, his stupid face, being like, there you go. Thought I couldn't do it. Well, F you. Here it is. I never did that. I had the degree, and guess what? I'm not doing that career. I did it for a little bit, and then I found that I did not have any, you know, it wasn't serving me in a way that, you know, nurtured my soul, and you know what I mean, that it just didn't feel good. So I'm not doing it anymore, and it's like, damn it, all that time wasted. But not really, because I learned a lot. There's a lot of aspects of that degree that I do still use for myself, for my business. But I'm not using it, you know, I'm not looking for clients and working with them, you know, and all that jazz. So it's not completely lost, and that's a message for all of us. All is not lost. There's no such thing as lost time, you know. There's lessons in every moment of our lives, and we know this, you know, on grand scales and on smaller scales. You know, even though we may be backtracking, it doesn't mean that we didn't learn anything, you know, along the way. So it's really important, you know, what did we learn from this process? What can we take with us as we fine-tune things, as we readjust, or maybe as we start all the way over again? So that's really important here. I feel like there's going to be a teeter-totter towards the end of the season as we go into Leo season, you know, with this. It's really important that we trust in the universe at this time. You know, trusting in the process of things. There's a reason why we have to backtrack a little bit. You know, maybe we don't know it just yet, but there's some readjustments that need to be made. You know, just like the I'm seeing like a GPS and like just punching in a new address. You know, maybe we were going to this person's house, and then they just called and they said, you know, they're not there anymore. They moved over here. So now you got to punch in that new address and redirect your path. So maybe we're still going to the same thing, but just in a different way. In a different way than we had expected us to go, that we had planned for ourselves. So all is not lost. But I definitely feel like there's a teeter-tottering at the end of the season between like wanting to charge ahead and then also being a little exhausted from this season of this going back and forth, trying to figure out, do I let this go, or or do I just keep pushing through? Do I need to make adjustments, or am I just trying to procrastinate and waste time? Like, there's lots of doubt, self-doubt possibly coming up here. Lots of like, I can't trust myself, I can't trust my decisions coming up. So it's really important. Meditation is so important this season. I don't really try to push that too much, because I feel like in the spiritual world, people say that all the time. Meditation is really great for you. Like, yeah, it is, but in the real world, we all, we're humans. I mean, I don't meditate every day. I'll be honest with you. So, but this season would really, really benefit us to get ourselves in that zone. Even if it's just like a minute of just shutting your eyes and just listening to the birds sing, or, just somewhere quiet. Just to let everything fall away. Just taking that deep breath. It may also, maybe your form of meditation is just taking a really long shower, or exercising, doing yoga, whatever you want to do. Anything that just clears your mind out is really gonna help you out this season, as that, emotional pendulum swings back and forth, and then that self-doubt with that intuition comes through. So, the more you get yourself centered, the less it's going to affect you. It may still be there, but it may not be as extreme, or as daunting as it would be if we weren't, centering. So just keep that in mind for this season, and especially as you get into Leo season. You may still be deciding, do we move forward or do we wait? Do we move forward or do we wait? And, that indecision thing. I'm going to pull an oracle card for us to wrap this up, to see what... No. I'm going to shuffle this a little bit more. What do we need to know for Cancer? Oops, season. Okay. Well, we got 3 cards, so we will do that. Let go. Patience, please. Healing, healed, healer. So it looks like we're releasing a lot. Pains from the past that we've held on to emotionally, held on to, grudges, not getting closure from different relationships and traumas, heartbreaks, any dramatic situation that may have affected us strongly. It looks like we're working to release that and move forward this month. And it's a lot of shadow work, of being patient with ourselves, being cautious, being compassionate with ourselves as we release this. So this is a month of, this is a season of healing, release and slowing down so that we can see where we need to adjust our direction. There you go. There's your message. Slow it down. That seems to be the theme for this year, is slowing down. Slowing down. We're doing a lot of trauma healing this year, it feels like. So, we're all in it together. You can do it. And I can do it too. I've got my own stuff, just like all of us. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please follow me on Instagram at Arcana Rising. Please follow me on Facebook, Arcana Rising Tarot. And if you want to book a reading, everything is below in the information. Thank you so much. I send you so much love, and I will see you for Leo season. Take care. Bye-bye.